this is good. Warning, the following is intended for immature adult audiences. Please do not attempt any of these stunts, activities mentioned in this podcast, shut up, future podcasts, or previous podcasts.
Stumps.
I did. I'm so messed up. Shout out to saggy, deflated titties, Ozempic Bucky's, Girth Brooks. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. Did I say it right, or did I mess it up?
No, that's plenty.
Okay, I can't tell. What's up, Beer League fans and fellow dumpers? Welcome to another unedited. It might have to be edited. I don't know. Unfiltered worldwide dump and skate podcast, the #1 beer league hockey podcast in the Bluffton, Hilton Head area, Pooler, Georgia area, Aurora, Oswego, and Naperville, Illinois, and the countries of Israel, Canada, Colombia, Bosnia, and Saudi Naperville. I'm getting hacked. I know it. I'm sorry.
100%. Just gonna live in perpetual state of being hacked.
Yeah. I'm the podcast scheduler, social media content creator, the guy who brings the sponsors, the broken, old, and decrepit bender, the infamous ball buster, the one who doesn't lose sleep if you don't like me. I am the podcast graphic designer and merch creator, Jeremy. I actually showered with the girls in Chicago, Abdu. With me, as always.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I did not.
I don't think I got in there when you were in there.
Oh, it's 'cause,
Was I in there?
You're asking me now? You're asking me now? Like,
I think I was moving.
No, but those showers were really cold, and I remember Cooch was behind me, and he's like, "Actually, if you turn it up a little bit, it gets warmer." Because before I got in, everyone's like, "Oh, they're freezing, they're freezing." So I just never bothered to turn it up all the way, and the Cooch goes, "Oh, you like it cold? Turn it." No, I just need a reason for my wiener to be small. I made it ice
looks
cold.
this way. How come the rest of you guys don't look like this right now? Why is it just me?
And then I crisscrossed, and all of a sudden I got like a third degree burn because it was so warm compared to my ice bath I had. And it still didn't change the effect of my wiener. All right, with me as always,
the man that all season showers.
Hey, they were actually clean and nice, though.
They were, except for the massive step up that we had to step up into. I thought I was going to die the entire time.
That's just I don't know if I didn't know. Man, I got cotton mouth. All right, with me as always, the man that makes this podcast possible, the only producer that doesn't do any editing until today, possibly, the talent of the podcast, but not on the ice, the most loyal friend and brother that will always have your back on and off the ice, in and out of the locker room. Turn your phone off. Abdu does the playlist. The team daddy sitter, the one I used to nag about uploading podcasts, but now I have to remind him that we even do a podcast. Get ready. Jeremy, I humiliated, embarrassed, degraded, talked down to, open-handed slapped, shushed, made Abdu look like a bitch, and made him bark like a dog in front of his friends yet again, all because I didn't pay attention to the group chat or Rob at Breakfast Holland.
Okay. Did we talk about that before?
We did not.
Did we talk about it? Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's address it really quick.
Wait, do your thing. Do your thing first.
I don't think it was. Oh gosh. Okay. What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all shapes, sizes, and flavors? Welcome in once again to your favorite beer league podcast, the one and only Dump and Skate podcast. We are super excited to be back with you guys. We have not had a lot of hockey this summer, so we haven't had a ton to talk about. Plus, my whole house has been turned upside down. We finally got a little bit of normalcy back in the Holland household, a very small amount. And so I'm sitting at my now new studio, I guess, which is the bar top right up by the kitchen. So excited to be back with you guys, excited to record, what is this, 2 podcasts in a 1 week window or something like that? Does that sound about right?
No, this has
been 2 weeks?
Yeah.
2 weeks. 2 and 2 weeks. We're getting there. We're
bi-weekly
we're getting our way.
So-
We're feeling our way back out. All right. I want to address two things in the intro because they are tied to Chicago. They are not things we talked about, but they are valuable things that we can talk about. All right. So, number one, yes, I did basically bark at you. I didn't slap you.
You might as well have.
Possibly.
You might as
But
well have.
to be fair, okay,
Oh,
so
boy, to be
we had
fair.
all right. So we had shut up. So Rob Cooch, part owner of the Zeros, and Zeros being the title sponsor of the tournament. We had been working with Rob on like gifts, not gifts, like prizes are the wrong thing, like medals, basically, whatever, championship swag, if you will.
yes.
There you go. And so it's not really a prize, but a lot of times you get a medal or something, or like a T-shirt or whatever, and that stuff was really weird. Nobody likes medals, nobody likes T-shirts, so we came up with the idea, let's get them a hat, right? And so Rob said, we'll do a one-off Zeros hat, we'll do a color combo that we haven't done before, and so he did. And probably a month out or so, Rob and I met up at we were some hockey thing. It was the kids fitting, travel kids fitting, and he had the hats and he gave me one. He's like, "Here you go, I got them. I had 30 of them made." And I said, "Oh, that's awesome." He goes, "But I might have to get some more made because a bunch of people from the office saw them, said they looked great, and already started grabbing them out of the box." All right, so
Ransacked
the initial order,
the office.
yeah. So the initial order was for 30, and he felt like he'd probably already had 10 of them taken. And what we were planning on was worst case scenario, if we had unequal divisions and things, that we might have to split the divisions. We would need 2 sets of hats. So we thought we'd probably need 15 hats per team. So a total of 30 hats. That was why the original order was for 30. Okay. And so when Rob told me he was down to like 20 or 24 hats, I said, you need to order like 10 more hats to make sure we have 30 for the teams that were there. Okay. And Rob said, "Oh yeah, no problem. I'm on it. You got it. Too easy. No problem." Okay. I don't remember seeing anything in any group chat. I don't remember which group chat it was, but I don't remember seeing anything about the hats. What I do remember is having a conversation at breakfast where Rob and I were talking about the hats again. And he made the comment, we were talking about hats because I brought up that I had ordered some Richardson brand blank hats that I wanted to use to print for my work, like for my job, get some hats made for that. I've got some shirts that we want to use our good friend Karen with, what's the name of the company?
Get Stitched.
Get Stitched. Yeah, I want to use Karen with Get Stitched, who did our Dump and Skate podcast shirts, to get her to do some things. So I was chatting numbers and things with Rob about the hat, the style hat it was and all. It's really similar to the golf hat I'm wearing, which you'll never be able to tell in the video. And if you're listening, you definitely will be able to tell. But it's kind of a flex fit, light, like athletic hat. Anyways, in that conversation, Rob brought up that he orders through a local company here that they have a good relationship with. And he made the comment that when he wanted to order more hats, he only wanted to order 10 more to get back up to the number he needed, which was the 30 number we talked about a month prior. Rob said, the girl he deals with, the salesman, said, no, you want 24 because that's the number count where you get a discount. And Rob goes, no, I only need 10. She goes, no, you want 24. So Rob ordered 24. That was the conversation we had at breakfast. Nowhere in my mind did I think that meant he only brought those 24, because we had conversations with Rob all along that he needed to bring 30, 15 per division potentially, right? So you tell me, you called me and were like, hey, Rob's only got 24 hats. And I said, no.
In front
Rob
of Chelios.
Chelios was standing there with us.
Chelios
Good friend, owner, operator of All Seasons Rink. Great guy, just fantastic host all weekend long. And so standing there in front of him, you were like, Rob only brought 24 hats. I said, there's no way. He brought 30. It's what we told him. And you were like, no, I swear. And I said, no. We told him to get 30. I know he brought 30. He had to bring 30.
And you go, shut up, bitch.
I never said any of that.
And I go, ah!
I never said any of that.
And then Chelios was like, I love this. What lovers quarrel? You guys are perfect.
Chelios did say he loved it and laughed. So I did basically fuss at you because I was convinced Rob understood the assignment. I was wrong. Rob did not understand the assignment and only brought 24 hats. And so if we would have split into 2 divisions, we would have been 100% screwed, because I caught Rob later and was like, hey, how many hats did you bring? 24. I said, why? He goes, that's what they reprinted. I said, but we needed 30. That was what we asked originally. He goes, oh, my bad. Yeah, no kidding. Like, dang it, Rob. So it all worked out. We only had 1 division, so we didn't need them. and it was all good. Like I said, everybody loved those hats. They were like a one-off thing. So, but yes, I did scold you pretty good. So not good
Just
on my
like dinner,
part.
just like at the captain's, you'd like to do it at the perfect time.
Definitely got onto you. And we explained that with a captain's dinner where all of these people were more worried about what we were going to call a new league and how it was going to look and this, that, and the other. And I'd gotten so irritated with guys having all these like side. What was most irritating in that captain's dinner was the side conversations happening between captains while we were trying to have a group discussion at the table. And I just got on my nerves because it went on for 30 minutes and it was always one or two guys were like, well, let's just talk about like what color laces we want to use next year for our team. And I'm like, guys, please shut up so we can get through this. I had another captain's meeting I had to get to. And I don't even know what you said, but you
talked
added
about
something.
food. It was something about food, and then you're like,
And I'd had enough of everybody. And I told you later, I did elbowed you right in the teeth. I had enough of it, and you were the easy target because you and I are good friends. And so I 100% was like, shut up, just stop talking, please. And you were like, okay, fine. I did apologize later. I was like, look,
not in front of everybody. You did it secretly when no one was around. You actually pulled me into the shower stall. Like, hey, Abdu, I'm really sorry.
Everyone knows that's a lie because you don't get in the shower stall.
I did in Chicago. You're like, Abdu, I'm really sorry. We're good now.
We're talking earlier. No, whatever. Oh man. So yeah, I did fuss at you in Chicago about the hats. I was wrong, or I had only brought 24. So in front of look. You want to complain about a non-public apology? 2 different times in our 3-year friendship, I have snapped at you. The hat thing, definitely, I shouldn't have done that. So that was my bad. I apologize. There's been a lot better way for me to handle that. So the entire broadcast now here's this. So that's way bigger than the 10-person captain's meeting. Also, I definitely yelled at you at the captain's meeting. I have already apologized, but I will apologize again. I was not irritated with you. I was irritated at everyone else taking that meeting and steering it the wrong way. So 2 apologies to you live on the broadcast here. Everyone on the network or everyone that listens and follows can hear it. So there you go. I've apologized to you. You cannot hold over my head that I didn't apologize to you in front of people because lots of people will hear this.
I won't be surprised if this part gets edited out.
I'll cut this one. It'll hit the cut. It'll hit the editing function.
I should record.
Right. What are you staring at out the window?
I'm just
like. So next thing we want to talk about, and this is we got topics we're going to talk about, but these are just, you hit these on the intro. We didn't bring them up from Chicago. I want to bring them up now. Okay. So we've traveled for 2 summers now together.
Yeah, 2.
As a group, 2 summers together, right? First big trip was we went to Jacksonville. It was a hodgepodge group of guys, but the big one was Nashville. Went to Nashville, just the boys, the core group of zeros guys that we've traveled with. We traveled again with them to Atlanta. It was mostly the core. I think we were missing like one guy. We flip-flopped. I think Paps couldn't make it and Phil could. So, But either way, last summer, core group of guys, a bunch of old dudes. I mean, the youngest guy I think is in his late 20s, right? So most of us are, 35 and older. And so, good group of guys. We've got a rhythm of how we act in the locker room, what we do in the locker room. Again, we talked a lot about it, goofing off again, basic locker room humor. You sent a clip to me, and I think you posted it. You might have posted it from our socials about Biz being called and about the locker room, and basically like, look, if you're not hanging out with your wang out in the locker room, like it's probably a bad locker room environment, right? And it's just, and so we take that.
You dickhead!
What? I didn't tell you to drink a giant sip. This is great radio. This is great podcast. You got a paper towel anywhere? Holy crap, man. Get it together.
Now it looks like I'm rubbing myself. Forget. I'll just.
No, it doesn't. It's souped into your face. This blur effect is awesome. Okay. Whew. So we've definitely got the locker room vibes. What an idiot. We've definitely got the locker room like down to a science. Like we can go and lose, but the locker room is, I don't think we've ever come off and just had like a bad locker room, right? Like we've always, even when we've not played well or we've had a bad game, I think probably the worst one was those Canadian guys in Nashville. And even after that, we still had a great time in the locker room with the guys and stuff and just hanging out. And so Nashville's where kind of the playlist that we wanted to play in our locker room was born. It's pretty unique. And so it's what we listened to, right? So we went to Atlanta. Playlist was the playlist. We did a few pickups and stuff in Jacksonville. Playlist was there. Playlist is the playlist, right? So we go to Naperville, and was it the second game we were playing?
Yeah,
I think it was the second game.
So the playlist is a part of us, right?
Yeah.
Even Rossi goes, Abdu, play the playlist. Cooch even requests the playlist, you know? So it's a part of us. And I'm the one that adds all the songs to it. First game in Naperville, we're in the AU locker room. Just normal thing, playing it, right? Just like...
Now, to be fair, you were not connected to your speaker, which you normally are. You Bluetooth connected to the speakers that were in the locker room. So any of us could jump in and connect to them, but you got in there, got your phone hooked up, and got the playlist going.
Yep. And was it the second game? I didn't show up late, but we were out there just mingling.
You and I were having to man the booth as teams came in, so we were not the first guys in the locker room like we would normally be.
And next thing you know, there's music playing, and it's not my phone, and it's not our playlist. And baby Huey with the big penguin feet took over, or tried to attempt to take over the playlist.
Puerto Rican looking bag of milk. That's right.
So, and it wasn't even good music, if I remember
it was
correctly.
Weird. Yeah, it was weird. It was like imitation music of what we actually listened to.
Right. It was knockoff music of what we had.
That's right.
And it kind of threw me off. Like, again, I've said
I don't want to listen to, like, again, we have a rhythm, we have things we do. There's a certain playlist we listen to. I mean, it's set up. Everybody knows what it is. There's certain songs that at certain times we want to play and listen to. And so guys actually literally ask for, hey, play my song now. Boom, you roll right to it and play it. It was not that. It was weird stuff. Again, it was like Temu playlist. Yes. It was the cheap knockoff version of it. You were like, hey, yo, like take your stuff off Milk Bag, like take it off the speakers.
I said, do it now. I was getting aggressive, like do it now.
And he was like, I'm going to just like do whatever I want to do. Now, mind you, this guy is in his early 20s. He was asked to go on this trip, not by you. And I'm glad he went because it helped to have an extra guy there. But look, if you're the new guy in the locker room, you're essentially a guest on that team.
Correct.
Act as a guest on the team. Don't
he
come
was
over,
warned
come
too.
in there.
He was warned.
Right. So yeah. So you told him to like, hey, unconnect, let me connect, or whatever. He's like, I can play some music like what that is. So he flips the song and he's got this turd-eating grin on his face like it's good. And I think you looked at Grant and were like, Grant, if you don't tell him to change, like get off of this here directly. And so I think Grant kind of ignored it at first or whatever, but I'd had enough of it. I said, hey, look, turn your phone off or I will take your phone and chunk it into the river. Like seriously, get it off right now. Like you are a new guy. Like you can't do this. So he finally disconnected his ridiculous phone and everything about normal. But it just put a weird funk in the locker room. It did. That really bothered me, like really bothered me. And I didn't want to be mean to the guy because I'm not typically a mean guy. But again, we've got a rhythm and a pattern. If you're coming in as a new guy and as a guest, you don't disrupt that pattern and try to take over a section. If somebody that's been a part of the team for 2 whole years says, hey, that's not what we do, I've got a playlist, this is what we listen to, the best thing to do is go, I'm out, you're in, my bad.
Locker room respect.
Yeah.
Locker room respect. And even on the bench, maybe mid first period, you go, I got you, my guy. And I totally knew what you're talking about right then and there. Like, yeah, like what is this clown doing? And I've said it before. There's like 2 main important positions on the hockey team, the goalie and the team DJ, because I'm not good enough to do anything else on the ice. I can bring the list. That's about as what I'm valuable for.
You need a good goalie. You need a hype guy. You need a glue guy, right? So if your hype guy and your glue guy can be the same guy, you don't need an extra guy in the locker room.
Right.
So you're the hype guy, you're the glue guy, and you're the chirps guy. So you're like all the guys that are the extracurricular stuff. You're all of them rolled into one.
I'm a Three Stooges into one Stooge.
I thought you were going to say three-way, but yeah, Three Stooges works better. I like that a lot better.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
good stuff.
Again, I'm glad you said something because I thought it was me, but it did throw things off for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know that everybody else, because again, it was a hodgepodge group of guys. We were not the full squad, but we did have, I don't know, 60, 70% of the guys were the normal zero guys. And so I think some of the guys are more involved in the playlist stuff than others. I think some guys are just kind of like whatever. I'm not a huge music in the locker room guy. We've talked about this before. Like I don't mind listening to tunes and stuff, but I'm not like married to stuff. But with that said, like we do have a rhythm as a group. It works. It's what makes us have fun, right? And that's the whole reason we do all this. That's the whole reason we're still playing and doing any of this stuff is because we have a good time doing it. And so what bothered me was you're an integral part of this team, and I'm not a big fan of somebody coming in and thinking that they're going to take over a portion of what it is that is your role within the team. So that bothered me. Not cool.
100%.
So anyways, we got it fixed. It's all good. So, all right,
Yep.
Let's address, we got two big topics today. One of these, we're going to kind of revisit something we talked about before. Really, I talked heavily about, so I'm going to talk about it just a little bit. And then it kind of brought up another conversation between you and I that we're going to kind of bridge into. So last time we were on the podcast, we talked about you kind of getting pinned up against the boards, kind of flipped up on your side and dropped to the ice. Guy that did it, I don't know his first name.
Chad. Do you want you? I'll say.
Wait. Where is Bailey?
Oh, great.
Is he locked in the bedroom? He was already out.
Hey, this is perfect timing. So the guy's name was Chad Goodmanson. Good friend of mine. I played with him for a while on the Englewood Jacks. Then had him sub. He's always asked me if I'm in town, do I want to play? So I've known Chad for a while.
Yeah. So what basically I caught it out of the corner of my eye. You got pinned. I could see you kind of get lifted up off the ice. We posted the video of it. It was not an egregious hit, but he definitely pinned you along the boards, definitely got you off your feet, definitely let you hit the ice, right? So I talked about how that bothers me, why that bothers me, that like, hey, I know how bad your hip is, how bad a shape your hip is in, and I'm going to give you some room here in a second to talk about the hip and also other stuff, injuries on the ice that all happened in Chicago, that all happened while you were there, that I assume these guys that you know this history. Again, I've only known you for 3 years, and I know that it bothers me when guys hit you, bump you, whatever. Like it really gets under my skin. Again, and the reason I said it bothers me is because I know at any moment any of us could have something happen that we can't play this game anymore. And so I know that given the shape of your hip and things like that, that the amount of time you have left to be able to play is a lot narrower window and a smaller window than some of the rest of us, right? So it bothers me when I see somebody do something that supposedly knows you, that potentially injures you to a point where you can't skate. I mean, it did, because when you skated the rest of that game. It was the last game. We came back up and skated later that afternoon, and you couldn't even hardly skate for 5 minutes. I had to get off. It was just giving you such a fit. So all that said, we kind of got some pushback for about how hard we went in on the guy Goody, right? And so I just want to address that really quickly. So here's the deal. He may be a good guy, and I'm not going to argue whether the guy is a good guy or not. And maybe I was a little out of line on explaining that I wanted to run the guy, because he did not run you. He did pin you, right? And I watched the video back, and it was not, again, it wasn't a, hey, 5 strides and shoulder into your chest type thing.
Correct.
He did pinch you and pin you in the board, but it did lift you up off your feet and then did let you hit the ice, right? So all that said, if I came off a bit harsh on the guy, that's bad on me. It definitely wasn't meant that way, but it's coming from a spot of Abdu's my friend. Obviously we do a podcast together, And I talked about how, hey, there's a way that I used to play with my brothers and be semi-protective when guys did even the smallest things to them. And I said it was some of the same feelings when I saw that kind of happen to you. It's less about how vicious or violent what the guy did, and it's more about the potential damage it did to you and not let you play. So if that makes sense. So if I offended you because I went hard after the guy, that's my bad. It definitely wasn't meant to be offensive. If the guy is a good dude, that's fine. One incident doesn't make him a bad guy, but I would say in that moment, my opinion is that wasn't a good guy move, right? So he may be a good guy 99% of the time other than that, but in that one moment, that wasn't a good look, and it would have been a lot better. It would have been better for him to handle it a different way. So I don't have any like long-standing hard feelings. I'm not going to come back to Naperville and hunt the guy down and try to hit him. It's nothing like that. Like I said, by the end of the game, the feelings of like retaliation that all subsided, and I was good. We were cool. And so, but again, maybe talking about it, I was a little bit harsh, and if I was, that's my bad for that. So now, I want to give you a second to explain a little bit of your injury stuff, because I know we've probably talked about it before, but I think when people don't realize it, or they don't hear it, or they don't know you really well, people hear us, they on podcasts and things, they watch us on YouTube, and they probably don't think about like, oh yeah, Abdu is like hurt pretty bad. And we joke with inside our locker room, and we know kind of how bad the damage is, but it's not something we broadcast out there. Yeah, yours is I'm absorbing it through the microphone here. It's not like we make you wear a t-shirt out there that's like, hey, don't touch this guy, he's basically Glass Man. Like, just so I like I said, I know we've talked about it before, but explain again the kind of the two major injuries you've dealt with.
Just to go back to your whole situation sticking up for me, it's no different than any other teammate wanting to stick up for his teammate or friend, So with that said, we all know that I'm very open about my motorcycle accident. I was in a really bad motorcycle accident, flatlined 3 times, really had to, I broke my hip in 5 places, broke my back, had to learn how to walk. With the grace of God, I healed all naturally, no pins, anything like that. But when I was healing, going to my orthopedic, he did say at some point I'm going to need a hip replacement. So 3 years after my motorcycle accident, it's just a miracle that I can walk, right? So about 3 years after my motorcycle accident, I started playing hockey again, because hockey's the best sport in the world. And it's just a blessing that I can get up and move around. So I got back into hockey after a few years. And so there was a private skate every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. You needed to know somebody to get into playing at this. It wasn't open hockey. It was a private rental. Good bunch of guys, really good bunch of guys. And I don't even want to say it's a freak accident, because it wasn't. It was a malicious hit on me. I scored a goal, and just like any kind of open hockey without refs, you just kind of reset, go to center ice. The kid that hit me slew foot me. I hit my head on the ice with a helmet so bad that I had 2 seizures on the ice, and I was actually paralyzed from the neck down for a couple of weeks. I was in the hospital for a couple of weeks. It sucked because it was on Easter weekend also. And I have permanent nerve damage in the occipital nerve, which is right behind the ear. But with this whole situation that sucked is I used to coach the kid. I've known the kid. I worked with his dad for 11 years. And I coached the kid. Like I said, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself. Someone put edibles in my food today. I don't know. I'm really sorry about that.
It's probably not helping that you're getting messages actively on your screen.
I know you're doing to mess me up.
Yeah, it wasn't done to mess you up. But I knew as soon as I sent it, I was like, oh, I didn't mean to send it. And then I was like, crap, he's gonna read it and stop.
You didn't mean to hit send? Like it just.
No, I actually meant to like jump to the next line. I hit enter and it sent it. I was like, ooh.
All right.
So yeah, that was my bad. I was going to send it when I started. Go ahead.
So anyways, I've known this kid for a while. He played on my men's league team, and he was actually kicked off my team because he is a dirty player. At this private skate, he's had the cops called on him a couple of times. Long story short, there was a lawsuit and everything like that. There was nothing done when we called the rink and emailed the rink because it turns out someone in his family was part owners of the rink. So those are my two biggest injuries that I've had playing hockey. And seriously, every time I have to get my hair cut, because I get it cut like very short, I have to let the person know right behind my ear that it's really sensitive, because I'll automatically jerk up. It just, the vibration of the cutters gets me every time. But yeah, I put my parents through the ringer. But that's might be one of the reasons. Okay, that really is one of the reasons I don't go into the boards, play hard, just because I guess it's PTSD. A little nervous about that. So, yeah, I think I touched base on it. Anything else you think I needed to add to it?
No. I mean, I think that explains everything pretty good. But yeah, I know that whole background. I know that the potential is there for you to get hurt pretty bad. So that's where some of the irritation and frustration comes from for me.
Everybody in the Chicago area knows about it because, thank you so much, Franzone. Franzone put together a huge fundraiser for me, and thank you to Chelios's Pub because they donated to that weekend. So it was a big ordeal, and we all know that the hockey community is very close and tight knit. There was, I think, Franzone, correct me if I'm wrong, there was 14 teams that played that raised money for medical bills and everything like that. And again, word travels, so everybody knew what happened. And the team that Franzone played on, they played in the tournament, and they all knew about it too. So,
yeah,
again, a lot of people in Chicago know my history.
Yeah. So this kind of got us into a different conversation. As somebody reached out to you and was like, "Hey, you guys were a little tough on Goody." So you and I kind of talked about it a little bit, and I said, look, there's a part of this that's like you're playing against a guy that's your buddy, or you're playing against your buddies, and that was kind of the scenario where a lot of the teams we were playing, you knew one or two guys at least on almost every team we skated against, right?
Yes, correct.
And so when you're friends with guys and you've either skated with them in the past, you've known them for a long time, you expect some competitive, like, there could be some like competitive contact or things like that, where again, you just kind of, riding a guy towards the boards or something like that, where you, again, and then laughing about it and stuff like that. But you don't want to, I don't want this to be misunderstood. I'm not claiming that what Goody did was dirty. So I want to be really clear about that. I'm not saying it was like a dirty hit, like he flipped you over on his, like hip checked you over or whatever. Nothing crazy like that, right? I just think it was a little too much in the moment. That like he could have squeezed you up against the boards and just stopped. It was when you left your feet kind of thing. That was what was like, come on in. It, like at least like catch you or something, like don't let you, whatever. So, but you're playing against your buddies, like you would expect your buddies to not do something that would potentially hurt you, right? Know the situation, correct, know who they're playing. Like if you got a bad hip kind of deal. And so I got to thinking, and I was like, how many times have we played like against our friends and stuff, or like played against a buddy, and like something happened where like you had to manage this, right? And so Pete and I are really good friends, and like actually two instances came to mind where, because a lot of the guys we play with in our league or with our zeros guys, we don't all play on the same team in every league. Like some leagues we do play together, but like when we bump up into the A League, I don't play with any of our guys that we travel with. Two or three of them, actually four of them, I think, play together on one team, and I'm on a separate team. Now that's just kind of the way it's fell. I'm captaining a team. Pete had been captaining another team, so we were always going to be on different teams, kind of thing. And so we were close to merging them this past year, but just didn't work out that way. So anyways, probably a good year ago, we were playing, and one of the guys on my team, Ponton, actually broke his stick in a face-off, right? And my guy was pretty irritated about it. They won the draw back into their zone. It was a face-off in their zone. Puck goes kind of not behind the net, but below the goal line, just to the side of the net. My guy very visibly irritated about the stick break, very visibly irritated that the ref hasn't even put his hand up. So my guy kind of sees red a little bit and was like, fine, I'm just going to go like test whether or not the referees are paying attention. Basically takes a run at Pete. Now, my guy didn't think it was a very serious thing. He just kind of was like, I just went over and shoved him. I was just trying to get the play to stop. The big problem was Pete was about 3 feet off the boards, kind of had his back to the play, and my guy kind of dumped Pete like face first into the boards, right? Kind of a dangerous play. Pete was fine. Pete didn't get hurt, but it made Pete mad, justifiably so. Not a great hit, right? I didn't see the totality of what happened, but based on where guys were standing when I kind of took my last glance at what was happening, what Pete's saying made perfect sense as to what happened, right? So guy shoves Pete basically in the back up against the boards. Pete kind of face first up against the boards, right? Whistle happens. Pete sees red. Pete jumps up and basically, I don't know if he chased the guy down or what, but he basically started to go after him. And my guy kind of laughed it off like it was no big deal. So Pete comes up to me post game, maybe even in the handshake line, is like, hey, look, he can't do that. That was dirty. You got to talk to your guy or I'm going to hunt him the next time we play. And I was like, look, I don't mind talking to the guy, but it's hard for me to like correct things, right? Like I'll go mention like, hey, didn't see exactly what happened, but what I'm hearing is this happened. So I ended up having a conversation with our guy, explained to him what was going on, and was like, look, you were out of line. He blew it off. Like legit was like, whatever, it was no big deal. I hit him shoulder to shoulder. I said, look, that's not what Pete felt like. Pete felt like you dumped him from behind, and like you got to make this good. Like you need to make this right. If you didn't mean to dump him behind, then you need to go have a conversation with him, explain to him, hey, I thought I got you shoulder to shoulder. I definitely didn't mean to hit you from behind. I was like, but if you're just kind of trying to make it a non-thing. So anyways, long story short, the guy ends up going and talking to Pete, and he does basically apologize and essentially said like, hey, I didn't really think I hit you that hard. It's my bad. It's kind of like a half-hearted apology. And so Pete caught me the next time we played. Pete caught me, I think, pre-game. And he was like, hey, he came and talked to me, but that wasn't much of an apology. He was like, if he comes into the zone with his head down, I'm still going to take him out. I said, okay, I don't know what you want me to do, Pete. I'm sorry. I talked to the guy, and so our guy ends up coughing the puck up late in the game. Pete takes it away, walks down the ice and scores the game winner. Pete comes by the bench and goes, all right, now we're even. I'm good. So everything was good there. So, but same kind of situation, like 6-8 months later, our team playing Pete's team in a championship game. And one of our guys kind of takes a run at Pete. Again, it wasn't like a, hey, 7 strides, lowered the shoulder kind of deal. But Pete was coming up the half boards and was kind of getting a loose puck that was kind of like hung up in the boards and in his feet. So he kind of stopped and was working to get it. And it was a little bit of a race to the puck, but Pete got there first very clearly. And our guy came in and just kind of ran through the spot, like didn't slow down or anything, like didn't try to hit the brakes. And it basically caught Pete with his head looking down at his feet, trying to dig out a loose puck. Bad play on our guy's part. Super bad play. And so I saw Pete get washed immediately. The crazy part was there was no whistle. There 100% should have been a whistle. It should have been a penalty on our guy. I immediately, when Pete kind of got to the bench, I immediately came off the bench, went over to the bench and checked on him. I was like, are you good? That was bad. Are you okay? He goes, I'm fine. He was like, but I'm like, that hurt bad. You got to tell him he can't do that anymore. Like, that's crazy. And so I came back to my bench and immediately my guy was like, oh man, Mr. Diplomat. I said, look, these people are my friends. It's not just like I'm talking to a guy because you ran into a guy. Pete is my friend. I said, so you can Mr. Diplomat, whatever. I was like, but that also should have been a call. Like, you know that. He was clearly there. Like, you ran through him. You didn't lower your shoulder and try to blow him up, but you caught, like, it was just bad. Like, Pete could potentially have a concussion now. Like, come on, we got to do better than that, right? So, I don't know. If my buddies are on the ice and somebody does something to them, even if I'm not in a position where I can run out there and, like, stick up for them, you know, because of 6 man on the ice or whatever, like, I feel like I'm still going to try to, as best I can, course correct the guys I'm playing with. Like, hey, look, you shouldn't have done that. Like, that guy's not a dirty player. Why are you doing something like that kind of deal? So I got a dog barking. Give me 2 seconds. You're going to have to take it away. Talk about friends on the ice all time.
All right. Well, that's well, while Highland was just babbling on and on, I had so much to think of. I think that's one of the reasons why when I play down here in Savannah, that when I get, I don't want to say cheap shot, but when I get hit or an unnecessary play happens, I think for this very reason, this is why I lose my shit so fast. Well, now that Holland just sat down, I was just saying one of the reasons why I think I lose my shit so much down here in Savannah on the 40 plus team is because when unnecessary plays happen, I lose my mind. Just because, same thing with Pete. Like, none of that needed to happen to Pete, and Pete gets upset. Same thing down here. I've already been injured for an unnecessary play. And when the mouse got me, okay, maybe I overreacted for a good 5 shifts, but again, it's for the reasons exactly that we're talking about right now. You're on mute, my dude.
Good catch. I will say, playing up there and playing even in that tournament style, there was little to no like chippy play. I only really saw one game get chippy, and I think it might have been one of the semifinal games.
There was a little bit on the line for that.
I think on the semifinal game, I think there was guys kind of started playing through the body and stuff a little bit. Again, not a full blown body check, but definitely a little more body contact than what had been kind of up to that point. And I saw it. And then there was a little bit of there were probably more penalties in the championship game than in any game combined up to that point all weekend long. I think there were probably half a dozen penalties in that championship game alone. So, which again, I get it. You're made it to a championship, so there might be, but again, at the end of that game, I think everybody was cool. There was no like hard feelings. Nobody was mad. There was no arguing. Everything was good, right? And so, it was really relatively clean played hockey. Yes. Very, very little chippy nonsense. The hacking and whacking stuff that we have to deal with here, there really wasn't a lot of that.
None of that. And if there was any of that, it was me on my own players. But again, there wasn't any of that. I was too busy trying to put my jersey on the right way.
What an idiot.
But
oh my gosh.
Again, yeah. Like I was saying, when unnecessary stuff like that happens, I just lose my mind. Just like when who was it that we're playing against? Waters' team. When I went to the locker room, and stuff like that, like, it's just when silly stuff like that. I don't even say silly stuff. When unnecessary stuff like that happens, that's where I lose my mind. Because when I got hit in the hockey game in court, the guy said that he just tapped me on the butt to tell me that it was a nice goal. Now, look, I know I'm a bad player, but no tap on the butt, unless you got a unit like Rossi, thank you. Unless you got no tap on the butt is going to make me fall over and have 2 seizures on the ice, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Again, that's it's stupid shit like that will make me lose my mind. So, again, I've never had to deal with that up in Chicago. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Well, you mentioned getting your jersey on the right way, which kind of brings us up to the next topic. So, jerseys have been a hot source of convo here, probably over the last year, but definitely more recently. And also, it got you and I talking a little bit about guys and jerseys and stuff. Now, again, you designed a logo for me. We did do jerseys for my men's A-League team. Most of those guys are pretty happy with them. They like, again, I don't think anybody's like, oh man, we need this color combo or this color. There's nothing crazy like that. But the guys think the jerseys are cool. They think it's neat that they can reverse. I think I had several guys that played all year with me last year that didn't even realize that they actually flipped inside out and had a white side.
Oh,
and I was
what's
like, yeah,
up,
they
Will
do.
Hall?
Yeah, I was like, they do. I was like, we just don't have the white socks. And some of the guys were like, yo, the whites are really nice. Like we had white socks with white jersey. So there were some guys who were like, oh, that's really like a cool feature of our $60 jersey or whatever it was, right? And so the guys thought it was cool.
So that's a feature of the jersey that I like. Again, when we were talking about this, sorry, I know I'm not a jersey guy. Like I said today, when when new teams unveil new jerseys, you get some. Oh, these jerseys are great. To me, it looks like just a jersey, but I do like the reversible for sure. I'm a big fan of reversibles.
I mean, they're heavy. It feels like I'm wearing like a
Oh, stop it!
Christmas sweater.
Go to the gym then. You
Feels
bitch.
like I'm wearing
It's
a Christmas sweater sometimes. And then
not
you
that.
sweat in it, and it feels like I'm wearing 2 Christmas sweaters from Aunt Ethel. It's a little tough at times. I don't know, man. And then sometimes you get the socks, and the socks are really, really big.
They're too long.
They're too long, and I had to duct tape them to my waist just to make sure that they didn't like drag underneath
those
my
socks
runner
are
and
meant
stuff.
for fly fishing too. You know the big waders that you do when
You got to make sure you order the right model. Is that what you're
Yes,
saying? You got to
yes.
order the hockey socks, not the fly fishing
And when
hockey, the combo fly fishing hockey socks.
when B&R first started doing the jerseys, you and I said, everybody, if you know your Abdu's height, get small to medium. Everyone's like, no, I usually wear large, and extra large. Well, then here you go. You get people that look like they're skating in onesies, like with the big feet flapping around, and then bitching about that. But
Yeah, to be fair,
seriously,
we did find out
I'm not
that
a big
the
jersey guy.
reversible.
I don't get it.
We did find out that the reversible socks ran a little bit bigger than the straight non-reversibles, the small, medium, and the large, extra large. There were some variances in there, but like, don't be a bunch of babies. Like, just put the socks on, wrap some tape around them, and roll down the road. Like, it's not that big a deal.
Right.
So, I've not had any issues with any of the socks I've had. Like, not
So my
Morons.
team back in Chicago, we're called, and I've said this before, we're called Sodomy. It's get your mind out of the gutters, pervert. It's Brandon Sod and Max Domi, Sod Domi. Okay, maybe the logo is the Pornhub logo, but these guys, for the last 3 years maybe, have wanted to change the team name. They wanted to change the logo, and I don't understand it. To me, it's just a team name. Some of the guys, I get it, have kids, and their kids like, hey, Dad, what team do you play for? And they just say, oh, Team Sod. They don't tell their kids like Sodomy.
You could say sad Dommy.
Well, or you could do a Charlie does Sod Domi. You know, he really emphasizes, yeah. But shout out to Kelly Seymour. She played on our team for like 2 years before she even knew what the word sodomy meant. She kept on telling everybody. I still have the text. We were just talking about it the other day.
Go, Kel.
She sent me a text like, I just found out what sodomy means. I've been telling everybody I play on sodomy.
Oh, gosh.
So, anyways,
Kel. What a
Gert-
big brain move.
what do you live under a rock? Gert,
Under a rock, Kel.
Gert,
Idiot.
who loves the zeros, ask Cooch as a solid, not as a sponsorship, you fuckers, as a solid, and as just like, hey, can you do us a favor? Can we change our name to the Zeros?
Yeah.
Cooch is like, absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. So, this Team Sodomy is now known as the Chicago Zeros. I designed a logo. It's just the Zeros logo with the Chicago skyline. Then it's a whole, like, Gert can back me up on this. Berlin can back me up on this. The amount of backlash and kickback on jerseys for this, it almost got to the point where there isn't going to be jerseys, and we're going to continue to wear the reversible 5-pound jerseys.
I told you what you needed to do is order all of the crybabies a like traffic cone jersey. So like the guys that wear the safety vests, just get a safety vest for them. Be like, here you go. And then put on the back of it, instead of putting a number and a name and stuff, just put on the back of it, I complain, number 99. And then have like 4 of them that have to wear number 99.
Well, we solved the problem. we got a little bit of not a sponsorship. That's the wrong term. A total lie. We got a little bit of a
donation towards the jerseys,
towards jerseys, which will help pay.
Which, to be fair, here's the deal. So there are multiple Zeros teams here locally, right? We have a Zeros B, we have a Zeros C, we have a Zero 40. They're even towards the tail end of the year. We did a Zeros A. We have a Zeros Travel, right? And so Rob and the Zeros brand do not technically sponsor any of those. Rob travels with us, so Rob last summer wanted to do something nice, and Rob chose some things he wanted to do for that group of guys. But Rob does not sponsor, and that by that I mean the Zeros 40 guys, the Zeros B guys, the Zeros C guys, the Zeros A guys. They all paid in for their own jerseys. It's not Zeros sponsored, therefore Zeros kicked into their league fees or kicked into their jerseys or anything crazy like that, right? The only group of people that run around with the Zeros brand stuff that the Zeros have actually done anything for is the travel group of guys. That's it. And that's because Rob's a part of it, and Rob wanted to do that last summer. And so there is no like groundswell of Zeros sponsored teams all over the map and then, okay, well, we're just not sponsoring Chicago. That is not what's going on.
Not the case.
What's going on is, hey, your team has long wanted a new name. A guy like Gert said, I love these Zeros. They're freaking amazing. He's like, would Rob care if we ran and used the Zeros name? And Rob said, I don't care. Go ahead. That's no problem. Now, again, this is a branded name. This was the same as if Gert was like, I want to call ourselves Team Nike. And you call Nike and say, hey, can we use it? And Nike says, we don't care if you use our name. It's free advertisement, but we're not giving you anything. You can just use our name, right? And so same exact premise there, okay? Except for most brands like a Nike or Chipotle or whoever else you want to use, Blue Saki, if you want to be Team Blue Saki, right? That would actually be a pretty good name. If you wanted to be Team Blue Saki, right, they're not going to let you use their name because you are tying their brand to whatever you do, right?
Correct.
So if you act like buffoons, now Blue Saki or Chipotle or Nike is tied to whatever tomfoolery and nonsense you do. So Rob's actually sticking his neck out a little bit by saying, hey, yeah, go ahead. You can use the team, the company name as your team name, the Chicago Zeros, right? Because if anything happens bad and it reflects negatively on the Zeros, Rob's given no financial backing to it. None of that. Zeros is tied financially zilch to it. And so now essentially they would be getting any sort of backlash repercussions with no real true affiliation with it. So to expect something silly, but it's not really my fight, so I'm not going to give a whole bunch of thoughts and opinions on it. But that's the backstory as far as I understand. Is Gert was basically like, hey, I love them. We'd love to just be Team Zeros. That'd be cool. I think Rob liked the idea. I thought it was a sick idea. You're from the area. We're great friends with Rob. You've got a team that's still there. Why not throw it on there? They're working really hard to get the Zeros into the crossbar bar and everything. And so like, hey, yeah, let's go ahead and do that sort of thing. So
I thought I was helping every party involved out. They want to change the name. They want to change jerseys. Great. And then now it turned into something. But it sounds like we're moving forward with the jerseys, which is great. But again, back to what we were starting to say, when I first played men's league in my mid-20s, it was always just light and dark. You don't have to have matching jerseys. Within the last 10 years, maybe 10 years, every team that I play on or have played on, league rule is you have to have matching jerseys, which I think is weird to me. I'm just used to the old school rat hockey or pickup hockey. You wear lights, we wear darks, and we just run with it. I told when it became a big issue in the league that I played in, I went to the captain's meeting. I said, if you guys can't tell the difference between a light and dark, you shouldn't be playing hockey. Then it became we had all pink jerseys, but the shade of pink wasn't matching. Like,
I was say somebody complained about the shade of pink or something one time, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So then it turned into everybody has to have matching jerseys and everything. And I was playing there. And I said, hey, the stripes don't match. not matching jerseys, and that kind of caused an issue. Imagine that. But again, it's new to me, and down here in Savannah, a lot of the guys take pride in their jerseys, in their men's league jerseys, which is
a little bit of a weird thing. I think the design aspect is fun to me. I think it's cool. Now, my background is roller hockey. So if you go look at ice hockey jerseys and ice hockey teams, they're very traditional. There's not a lot of flair and pizzazz. The most you're going to get as far as, flashy jerseys is some of the teams will use, flashier colors and stuff. Now, it's getting a little more common. I forget. I saw some kids teams that had some printed jerseys. Like one of them was like a Hawk Tua team or something, and so they had like the girl's face on the front of it or something. So some people have done some like pop culture type things and all. But when growing up playing roller, you had teams that had like super flashy jerseys. They were all like really, really lightweight material, not silk, but almost like a silk or polyester type like feel to the jersey and all. And so a lot of it was like sublimated jerseys and everything. Yeah. And so you could do all kind of designs all over them. I remember a big thing for the club I played in was we played in like some old ice hockey jerseys, and they were heavy. They were like NHL style jerseys. And we went through and ordered through a team block, I think was what they were called. And they made hockey like roller pants, but they were like pajama pants. It was weird. They were
really?
they were like heavy pajama pants. And so, but they made jerseys that were that like polyester, like silk material, and they were really cool. They looked really good. And our colors were red, white, and black. And so not hard to mess up. But then right as I started to graduate out of the program and head off to college, they went through another round of ordering jerseys, and they found a different company that did some like really, really, really cool sublimated jerseys. I think I have one of them still here. I think it used to hang up behind me as my brother's old jersey. And so anyways, they were, our team name was Super Goose. So our logo, our mascot or whatever was obviously a goose. It was a Canadian geese. One of the guys that played in our league was an artist, had drawn it and all kind of thing. Anyways, so they did, because of the name Super Goose, the jerseys they had made, they did like feathers down the wings, and then they did like a cape down the back, right? And so we needed a home and away. Everything got proofed from as best I can tell, but they were supposed to be like a white and a dark, right? Well, we were a red and black team, and somewhere through everything, the wires got crossed, and they just did a red and a black jersey. And they didn't do a white. And so, and even the one they did, I think they were both white jerseys, but like one had a red cape and one had a black cape. So they still both just looked like white jerseys. They didn't look like anything different. And so it was, a lot of people were really irritated because I think those jerseys cost a lot of money. They were a nicer jersey and all. And they ended up having to do a reorder just like a solid black of the same exact jersey and all. What ended up happening was the age groups. So my age group was one of the earliest age groups that came through the program. We didn't do a lot of winning, but the age groups that came behind me, so the kids that were when I was 18, that were 16s and 14s, those kids actually were the ones that got those jerseys. They won a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff. And they actually just started wearing their practice jerseys. They were going to tournaments in a solid black practice jersey and a solid white practice jersey. They're like, we don't even need to wear these nice jerseys. The nice jerseys just got left at home and stayed in the closet. So even the kids growing up playing roller kind of got to the point where they're like, we don't need all this stuff. So, but I understand the flashy jersey side because that was a part of, and still is, if you go look at some roller hockey stuff, like you can see all the sublimated jerseys. They're all crazy.
Roller hockey guys really take pride in their jerseys too. The roller guys really do their jerseys. I just don't understand why they're wearing long sleeves outside. Just go with the t-shirts.
A lot of the guys play indoor stuff, so it's indoors.
Yeah.
Now the roller guys here also have kind of gotten some interesting jerseys and
That's
things,
what I'm saying,
and
the
team
guys down
names
here.
and all. Yeah. Well, some of them do. They order through some companies that do long sleeve and short sleeve and like tank top style jerseys. Because I've seen some guys with like tank top jerseys.
Right. Yeah. But like I said, the guys in the Savannah Hockey League here, a lot of the teams take pride in their jerseys, and I can respect that. I just don't.
Except for the slugs who are still probably wearing t-shirts.
Are they? I still wear mine.
The last time I played 2 years ago, they were still wearing t-shirts, which I thought was the funniest thing in the world.
I still have mine. I tore the sleeves off of it though. But
Looked like somebody printed them out of the back of a Ford Econoline van.
yes, mine's pretty faded, and the logo.
This shirt cost us $4, but we're going to charge you $25 for it because we got to put some money in the team kitty.
So yeah, but the guys here in Savannah, they take pride in their jerseys, which I respect. I just I don't understand the whole
desire for full-grown adults to
yes.
chase around like fancy jerseys.
right.
I do like that we look like a team. It's nice. I did have some guys that came in this year on my A-League team, which is the only one I really, worry about. Whatever.
Yeah, I would worry about it too if we're winning championships 3 times. The other teams can go suck dick.
I do think we had a couple guys that knew they were only going to be here for like a year, and so they were like, "Hey, we're out. We're not going to order a jersey." I said, "It's all good. Just wear a red practice jersey if you got one." They were like, "Yeah, we're good." So we rolled with that, and we were just fine. And it again, it's not a big deal, and I'm not that worried about it. Like I said, we did it the first. I think we ordered him the first season, maybe. Maybe we ordered him the second full season. But part of what we did was, I think we were trying to come up with team names. I think we had just used some AHL names for teams, and then we were trying to redo some. I don't even remember what our team name was to begin with. And so I think you and I might have been spitballing on names and stuff, and I ended up with Swamp Donkeys. I was like, well, if we're going to call ourselves the Swamp Donkeys, I think you kind of got excited. You were like, I'll make a logo of a swamp donkey. And so that's the whole reason. And then, like I said, then once you get it, it's like ordering the custom sticks. That's basically what happened, right?
Spend hours messing around.
You send me a logo and I'm like, oh, that's a cool logo. We should do this. Like, do this color. That'd be cool. And I'm again, grew up playing on 2 different red and black teams, Detroit fan. So I love red incorporated and stuff. And so I was like, I'll just do some red and white and we'll throw in a little bit of neon green for like the hometown Ghost Pirates guys. And so the next thing I know is, like you said, you send me a jersey site where Marola and those guys order from. And I end up spending an hour on a dadgum jersey site messing with stuff and like playing with this and that and the other. And so we end up with the ridiculous thing that we have.
Yeah, at some point you just got to be like, make up your mind and just
move on down the road.
Yeah. But who else? The Ice Hogs. They take pride in their jerseys and their team swag
They are probably the most team swagged,
flashy
team I've ever seen.
Yeah.
With the t-shirts and the hat. Did I tell you I got tagged by them?
No.
So I had a guy that one of the guys that goes to church with me does forklift maintenance, and he apparently he came to me one Wednesday night and he was like, "Hey," he said, "So I left something for you on your truck." And I said, "What did you leave in my truck?" He was like
a turd.
He's like, "I gotta go." He's like, "Just call me when you see it." And so I walk out and there's an Ice Hog sticker stuck to my driver's window. And so I called him and I said, I know who gave it to him. I'm not the only guy I know that would have had it would have been Barrett. And so I called him and I was like, it had to be Barrett, right? And he goes, yeah, I had to go service one of their forklifts over at their, Barrett works for a company that installs and does pools. So I guess they had a forklift over there that this guy Jacob was doing. And he said that they got somehow hockey came up or whatever. And Jake was like, "Do you know a guy named Jeremy?" And Barrett was like, "Oh yeah." And so Barrett told Jacob like the whole backstory of like how he knew me a little bit in college and how he knows me now and all. And he said Barrett gave him the sticker and was like, "Here, you got to get it on his truck or something." And so Jacob was like, "I didn't want to stick it on like any spot you didn't want it." He was like, "I didn't want you." I don't care. I peeled it off and stuck it on my back window, so now it's on the back window of the truck.
You got to give him a dump and skate sticker to return the favor on one of his nice cars.
On one of his really nice cars.
Yeah,
his car that costs twice what my truck costs.
Right. Yes. And ours aren't vinyl, so it's going to be a bitch to pull off too.
It's okay. It'll be on the glass. It'll be no big deal. You can get it off later sometime. Yeah, maybe, possibly, hopefully.
But yeah, they take pride in theirs.
They do.
What other team does? Sprentz's team, because he wants to get hats and stuff.
Sprintz is a real big jersey guy, though. I think Sprintz
is
likes
just
it.
Hockey guy.
He's a junkie.
Yeah, the two Zachs in our lives, they just should probably get together and have a sit down and talk about jerseys and gear.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be good. We'll start a group chat with them and then leave it. Oh man, yeah. I don't know anybody that's really wound up about the jerseys. I know the Ice Hogs just did, which I will say to their credit, they had the black jersey for the longest time, and they've gone the less expensive route on the socks and jerseys and all. And so, but they just did this past year. They went and got some white jerseys, and the white jerseys look really nice. Like they really look good. So that was a good look for them. So, but yeah, I don't think anybody else is really too wound up about them or worries too much about them. But like I said, guys do like to order them. I think part of it too is our teams are a little bit still in flux. And so that affected some guys a little bit this past year as to whether or not they wanted to order stuff or whether they just wanted to stick with kind of like the practice jerseys.
That's the other thing with all the drafts going on. Jesus.
I think she just burned her hand on the crock pot. She's trying to cut some stuff up. Sorry.
Just lay on the countertops. So that's another thing with all the drafts going on. Eventually, somebody's going to have to keep on buying new jerseys. Hopefully, that comes to an end once teams are permanent.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully stuff gets settled. But right now, there hasn't been too big of a massive overhaul and shakeup in certain areas, and so.
Black Magic is a jersey guy too. I think that's
he's a jersey guy like
part of his wardrobe.
Yeah, he wears them like t-shirts a lot of times, which I've never been. That's not me, but he loves them. But he's also like he's not like just a team jersey guy. No, he's like a nostalgia jersey guy. So he's got like the Mighty Ducks jerseys. And he's not just got like one. Like he's got a Conway jersey, he's got a Banks jersey. I think he's got the Hawks jersey from Mighty Ducks that has Banks on it. So he's got a bunch of stuff from that, and I think he just kind of likes that.
Yeah, he's but that's part of his wardrobe, right? So.
Yeah, which is not my thing, but I love Black Magic, so I'm definitely not going to mock him for it. It's just that's part of his style. That's what he likes. So it's just not me. I don't wear that. I wear white shirts with little red birds all over them.
I'm just a t-shirt and shorts.
T-shirt,
yeah.
T-shirt and shirt kind of guy. Yeah, I love it. It's perfect. That's Corey's nickname.
Or tripod.
Not saying that one. Nope.
Sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt.
No, you're good.
I'm not trying to interrupt while you're recording, while the microphone's right in front of your face and you're still talking. I'm trying to interrupt. Didn't even know you were recording.
He put that nickname on his own stick.
And a shirt. And two of his shirts.
We didn't give it to him. He gave it to himself.
Actually, I gave it to him.
She's standing there cutting. She goes, "It's really disturbing." And I said, "We didn't give him the name. We didn't call him."
I did. Actually, I did call him Black Magic. No. What about tell her we call him Houdini? Ask him why.
No, we do call him Houdini too. Please, stop scraping that knife on the crock pot.
The more we talk about Black Magic, she's getting more aggressive with the knife.
It's ruining the blade. So,
Sarah, we call him Houdini.
We're good.
All
right. That's what?
I was gonna. Do we want to do a plug? We didn't really do a plug, or we passed the plug.
Go visit our guys at BNR Sports. We love them.
I was gonna
go
say
see them
for Karen.
Do those. Also, yeah, absolutely. Our good friend Karen at Get Stitched. Look her up. I don't have all of the info on it, so this is going to be a bad read. But you can look her up on social media. You can Google her. Great print job. If you got one of our shirts, you've seen her handiwork. It looks really good. We're really, really happy with them. She's going to be doing some of my work stuff here very soon, as soon as I can get the stuff over to her. But yeah, if you need anything printed, embroidered, whatever, she's your gal. Karen at Get Stitched.
Good people.
Good people. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls, we appreciate you being with us. Thanks for listening. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys. Bye, bitches. Peace. Bye, bitches. Hello.